Hey, welcome to the Texas Football Talk. I'm your host, 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗘. Once again, joined by my brother Clint. In this episode, we have 23 offensive line commit Trevor Goosby with us. How you doing, Trevor?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Doing excellent, man. Doing excellent.
Absolutely, man. Just kind of following the Twitter space at this point, trying to figure out who the next commit is. It's been really fun for Texas fans. I know, I think it was 4 linemen back to back, and I think you were the last one that committed that evening. I think it was Saturday evening. Was definitely a big day, and it just keeps going day after day after day. Just got another commit as of when we're recording this on Sunday. So we're definitely excited. But we'll get into the questions. I'll let Jeremy ask the first question, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right, yeah, Trevor. So you played left tackle at Melissa. You've not always been an offensive lineman. I heard this story. Can you talk about your growth and development over the last couple of years and how you were converted tight end and how you've grown over the last couple of years to get to where you are?
Yeah, for sure. So I first started off actually as a receiver, and then when I was playing Little League, and then I got moved to tight end just because I was getting bigger. And so I went into middle school and we needed a center, so I started playing center, and that was really the start of my O-line journey. I've been playing O-line ever since middle school, but this upcoming year will be my second year playing left tackle.
Absolutely. And can you tell folks where you're at right now? Because I heard your dad say you were 6'7", about 285 without shoes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's right. So at first, at the beginning of this season, I started off at like 6'4.5", 245, and then now I'm 6'7", 285. So it's been a crazy journey. The past.
We got to talk about your diet plan offline. We won't ask you about your diet, but I want to know how you put on 30. I'm sure all that's muscle, 40 pounds of muscle over 1 year. Because I've had a little weight loss of myself and trying to pack it back on the right way over the last couple of months. So I'll get offline with you and ask you about your diet plan.
I'm not so like the weight gain is not the thing. It's the 2.5 inches in a year. That is to me it was
crazy.
Hell, I didn't grow 2.5 inches for 25 years. So congratulations on that, man. So hey, because obviously offensive tackle is your thing now. You've been working with the same trainer as 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗘 𝗦𝗧 and Connor Stroh. How has Zach developed your game over the last couple of years?
It's just really made me a technical master, because that's one of the things that I pride myself on is, being a technician of the game and, getting my steps down and, pass blocking correctly and stuff like that. And, that's really helped me come a long way.
And we've watched Kyle Flood's progression, and we've watched his coaching clinic. We actually bought his coaching clinic. It's like 40 segments long. I don't know if you've got a chance to see it. About contact at the first level and getting off that and getting to the second level. What's the most important technique you think or attribute of an offensive lineman? Is it footwork? Is it hand placement? Just getting off the ball and making solid contact? What do you think is the best attribute in an offensive lineman?
Definitely footwork, no doubt. Because you can't go anywhere without your feet. So having good footwork and having crisp footwork is really what makes a really good offensive lineman. And
I heard you talk about that yesterday about sacks, not giving up any sacks, and that has to do. We know when a tackle drops, he's got to set himself right, like choppy steps till he gets to his point, and then put hands on that defensive end or edge or whoever's coming. So that's how many days a week do you work out with Zach?
I used to work out once a week with him, and I still do that. So
okay,
I haven't been to him in a while though. I need to go back to him actually.
We're actually going to have him. He's actually going to come on our show on Tuesday. We have Nick Harris from 247 Sports coming on. I'm sorry, now with Rivals. He was with 247. With Rivals, we're going to talk to Nick. And before we talk to Nick, we talked to Zach, and because again, the you being one of his students, Connor Stroh being one of his students, and of course Devon Campbell. We really want to know what it is to be a technician and how to teach offensive linemen. Because me and Clint were receivers just like you were as Little League, but we stayed up that through high school. We actually went to DeSoto High School. So when your dad was talking about 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗘 Cook yesterday, he's a guy that we do know. So just like you are, we're excited about Coach Flood and all the experience that he brings to the University of Texas. Being a former head coach. We know how many, draft picks he had when he was at Alabama. What's your relationship like with Coach Flood?
It's really good. We've been building it up ever since he started recruiting me. But yeah, it's been really good. He's a really good guy, really approachable guy. And I also just love the way he coaches football. He just makes it simple, but it's simple and effective.
Like that.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I think that's important. If you sometimes I think people can feed you too much information. So if you could just simplify that information and make it teachable, makes it easy. But at the same time, like you said, it makes it effective. I think that's probably one of the best ways versus feeding a whole bunch of information, giving you a whole bunch of techniques. Then you start thinking more than you start playing. So that's really, really good insights to that. So your dad has been really active on social media. I know he's a former NFL football player. What insight did he give you in, obviously during the recruiting process?
Just keep working. Just keeping the main thing, staying active on your workouts and stuff, and make sure that you're still getting better despite, who comes after you. That was one of the biggest things that he told me.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And your dad seems really, really humble, and you seem really grounded. And I do, it's not on our list of questions to ask you, but I kind of I was looking at your offer list, and schools like Dartmouth were on there. What kind of student do you have to be to get an offer from Dartmouth?
So I have a 1270 SAT, and actually I didn't know I was taking the SAT until the day of. So I woke up and my mom was like, "Hey, you're taking the SAT today." I was like, "Okay, I guess you can go take it." And then I also have a 3.9 GPA, which really helps me out. So
that's awesome, man. Very smart. Yeah, that's an understatement. Very smart. Yeah, I don't know. I was advised by my college counselor or in my high school counselor not to take the SAT. I wasn't very good in the arts, and back then we called it language arts, English, all that stuff. My forte was math and science. So they pushed me towards the ACT when I was coming out of high school. That's really, really, really good stuff, man. 1270 on the day of, like get up, you're going, and you seem to thrive under pressure. Then that's probably going to come to fruition. Playing at the University of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the big things for me coming into high school. I just didn't want to have to worry about my grades like some other kids do. I just wanted to make sure that I had that on lock, so I just worry about football. So
that's awesome.
That is awesome stuff. It's crazy that Jeremy brings that up as a question, because it's definitely not on our list. But I was actually talking to my wife earlier, and I told her that we were going to have you on. And I was talking to her about some of the schools. Believe it or not, I was talking about some of the schools that you had offers to. And I was like, it's Ivy League schools, which is obviously based on what you do academically, and obviously being a student athlete. It sounds like student first, athlete second, which is really cool. So I'm going to kind of skip one of the questions here. As far as I'm going to skip Jeremy's question, I think it goes into this real quick. Field of study at the University of Texas.
I want to get into business, because my mom, she went to the Macomb School of Business and she really loved it. So I want to get into business, and when I grow up, I just want to be a businessman, make a lot of money.
Hey, that's a good plan. Yeah, I think we're all striving to do that.
Definitely didn't know you had ties to the University of Texas. So your mom is a graduate? All right.
So actually the whole side of my mom's family went. So all 5 of my aunts and uncles went. My grandpa went. He's an alumni. So yeah. Yeah.
Because Trevor, when he committed to TCU, when he was asked yesterday why the commitment to TCU, that's exactly how he explained it. He said that TCU was the best option I had, but once my dream school, the connection that he had with his mother, once my dream school offered, I went down there and visited and met the other 23 possible commits or recruits, and then met the coaching staff and was welcomed the way I was welcomed, that Texas was the place for me. And am I chronicling that pretty close to what you said, Trevor?
Yes, sir. That's pretty much what I said.
All right. So toughest matchup. Now y'all moved up, if I'm correct, in the UIL from 4A to 5A at Melissa.
Yes, sir.
And I tell you, like I said, me and Clint grew up in DeSoto. I know you probably know where that's at, a little bit south of Dallas. But Melissa and Frisco and Prosper were just kind of fields back then. They were small towns. Like that's new growth for the city of Dallas. But going back to 7-5A, who's the toughest matchup in 7-5A? You can give me person, defense, or team. I would like all three if you can give me all three.
Probably person is actually on my team, Nigel Smith. Going against him in practice, he's hard to handle. Team, probably Argyle. Argyle would be the team. And also Argyle's defense will be tough to go against, just trying to deal with 𝗟𝗡𝗘 because he's a good player, and So is Michael Madry. So yeah.
There you go. You got some names for us, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've been doing my research.
I like it. That's where that 1270 SAT comes in.
All right, let Jeremy ask the next question, because I kind of think it goes in line with what you're kind of going with as far as teammates and stuff and players on your specific team.
So Nigel Smith II, his teammate that he just talked about, is a very sought after defensive end, high 4-star athlete from Melissa. So you can't choose him. Surprise teammate of Melissa that may be under recruited right now. Probably.
There's a lot that I can go with, but probably my running back. Probably my running back, Nathan 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗓𝗕. He's a dog. He's been working super hard this offseason, just trying to get better. And I think he's recruiting to pick up for sure. Who else is there? I think my left guard, Brandon Ward. I mean, he squats 850. I think he squats a lot of weight. So once he starts being nasty on the field, I think he'll pick up a couple. So just
are these 23 or 24? Are they 23 or 24s?
Nathan is a 24, and then Brandon's a 23. So
okay, all right. We like to get some. Yeah, we like to kind of get some names of some under-recruited guys. So if somebody's watching this channel, you have to go against them every day. You see them every day, and sometimes these huddle film or what schools you play at, sometimes there's not a lot of eyes on there. So it's better to hear obviously guys that they're playing with, shout out their players because they think that they're deserving of more offers. All right, so we're going to talk about last question, big question, okay? Here we go. You don't have to give us any names of silence or any of those things. We don't want that, okay? Mm-hmm. Are you currently recruiting in anyone specific for the 23 class?
I'm really just trying to help out in any way that I can. They'll give me a couple of guys and I'll reach out to them, hit them up on their Instagram posts and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that I'm showing love for those guys, trying to get them to Texas, obviously. Just letting them know that they're wanted here. Because, I mean, that was a big thing for me is that I felt like I was wanted at Texas, and I want other recruits to feel that same way. So
what's the energy level around the program right now?
Oh, we're super excited. We're pumped up. Getting a new coaching staff that just came from Alabama, one of the most prestigious college football schools. We're definitely hyped and pumped for it. Also, we're talking about even getting back to our 04-05 selves. When we were national champions. I think we can get back to that level.
Got chills, Trevor. You got have the chills over here, Trevor. Look, again, we've been watching Texas Longhorn football for damn near 30, 35 years. That's kind of what we grew up on, and this is our passion to do what we do now. We got full-time jobs. This is our passion. But anytime we could bring, someone on, a new commit on, to kind of give, your everyday life, ask you a little bit about football and academics, it's really cool for us. It's really, really cool for us because we talk a lot of ball. We talk a lot about two deeps and defense and offense and who's going to be here and who's going to be there. But anytime we get to do this is probably to me and Jeremy, probably the best thing we do from our channel.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
I got one more though. I'm gonna sneak one more in because somebody asked you yesterday about Cam Williams versus Trevor Goosby, one-on-one basketball to fight. I have to because
it's gonna be hard.
Who's watching? I wasn't going to ask you that. I wasn't going to ask you that.
You wasn't going to ask
me? I wasn't. I was going to start with that. So Cam Williams, Trevor Goosby, 1-on-1 to 5. We're going to leave that alone. But how important is it, do you think, to have multiple sport athletes to be able to, because you talked about it. You talked about growing from 6'1" to 6'4" to 6'7". And because you're a basketball player, you're forced to run. You're forced to move your hips. You're forced to defend. You're forced to jump. How do you think basketball prepares you for football? And do you think it's better to focus on one sport? Or are you in that club that says, hey, play as many as you can, keep yourself busy? They all deliver different things.
Oh, definitely play as many as you can. I would say it's a no-brainer for me, but that's just because I've learned a lot about how other sports can help you. But actually, growing up, I was a point guard because my other two brothers are point guards. So I grew up being a guard, and so now being a lineman, it really helped my footwork and stuff, and being twitchy and getting off the ball fast and stuff like that. So Yeah, and I also play soccer too, which really helped my footwork also. So,
and your cardio's got to be crazy. That's it. Is linemen, people don't appreciate their cardio, but when you're hitting somebody play in, play out for 70, 80 plays a game, if you're lucky enough to run that many, hopefully Sark scores in one. I like those one play possessions to Xavier Worthy down the sidelines against Oklahoma to start the game. I'm fine with that.
Man, I was at that game. I was there at that game.
I watched it again today. I watched your film. I watched a little bit of 𝗟𝗓𝗏. I watched a little bit of Arch. I had to go back and rewatch it because I want to be reminded of how good this class is. And so I pop on a couple of y'all's highlight tapes and like I said, just the athleticism from the big guys. Yeah, we got big bodies. Connor Stroh's 6'6", 345. We've talked about that. We've talked about, the big guys and how big Kojo is and how tall you are and how we feel like 25 to 30 pounds of muscle won't do anything to your agility and your strength. It'll only enhance it. But I just wanted you to talk about that because I know you said you played basketball and you enjoy basketball. Like I said, I'm not going to ask you about you versus Cam Williams. We'll leave that one out there for another day. But really appreciate you spending time with us today and let us get to know you.
We may have to when he gets on the 40 acres. They may have to Instagram live that or something. I think you get a lot of views. That's too big. That's two big bodies going at it, man. And,
I think people are going to bet on that game.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, you talking about NIL and Instagram and views and stuff. That definitely gets some views, man. That's two big bodies going at it. But like I said, we appreciate you joining us, Trevor. I know it's 4th of July weekend. We'll let you get back to that. Your dad is on the Twitter Spaces has got on there and talked, and I know everybody listens to him. And we may reach out to him at some particular point, see if he wants to come on the show, because I'd love to kind of get his thoughts on the recruiting process from a parent standpoint. So we may reach out to him on Twitter at some particular point and try to get him on the show as well. Go ahead, Jeremy.
And we'll be quiet after this, I promise. But we've talked about your dad and where he comes from because that's who we've heard from. Shout out your mom. Tell us about your mom and her influence during this recruiting process.
Oh man, my mom. I'd say I'm a pretty important recruit, in the football world. But when I come home, I still got to do all my chores. She still sees me as a little baby. I still got to do all my chores, clean my room, go walk the dog and stuff. And, it just makes me feel good that she doesn't love me just for, me being good at football. She just loves me for me, which I can really appreciate. And she also just wants the best for me, which has really helped me, make my decisions and stuff. So
that is really cool.
I love my mom a lot.
Awesome. So, all right, no more questions. I promise, Trevor. I've tried to do the outro like 3 times now. But again, we appreciate you for joining us on here. Hopefully, we may reach out to you at some particular point again during the season to get your thoughts on the season. But we appreciate you as always. You can find us on Twitter at Texas Football Talk. Thank you for listening. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hook 'em.
Remember, hook 'em.
Hook 'em.
Yes.